Bonjour, welcome to Wahsa Distance Education Center's radio Zoom classes. This is MEL3E, grade 11 workplace math, and I am the teacher Bronwyn Slate. If you'd like to participate live today, you can call the Wahsa studio at 1-800-465-7144 or 737-4017. You can listen on the radio at 91.9 FM and also on the television at Bell Express View channel 972. You're always welcome to join me live through the Zoom link, which is available both from me, your teacher, and also your DEC. Our classes are scheduled from Monday through Thursday, 9 until 10 in the morning, and we are in our second week of our 9-week course. So a reminder of what work to submit for marking as you start to look at the work. The support questions, the ones with the pencil icon, are not for marking. You can decide which ones and how many to do. If you understand the concept, feel free to skip questions. You don't have to do the work just because it's there. But if you need more practice, please ask, and I'm happy to give you more practice. The key questions are the ones with the little key icon, and they are the ones to submit for marking. So please do all of these questions, showing all of your work, your steps, and your thinking. So then how do you submit your work for marking? There's 3 methods. The first is to scan your work and send it electronically. You can scan your completed work through a device. If you have an Apple device, the Notes app has a scan function. And if you have an Android device, the Google Drive app has a scan function. These are free apps that generally come with these devices and are pretty straightforward to use. If you need support to learn how to use them, I have tech tutorials on my YouTube channel that will walk you through how to use both of these apps so that you can really figure out what are the tools that you have. And if you need more support, feel free to contact me and I'm happy to walk you through it. Then once you have it scanned, you can send your work through email to studentwork@nnec.on.ca and CC it to me, bronwyn.slate@nnec.on.ca. Or you can also send it to me through Facebook Messenger, where my name is B. Slate Wahsa. The second method is to drop your work off in Sioux Lookout. We have an outdoor mailbox at 74 Front Street. We are the bright red building next to the post office, and we have a small white mailbox next to our side entrance. The third method is to hand in your work to your DEC. Your DEC can either send your work through the Express or fax it to 807-737-1732 or toll-free fax to 1-800-463-7852. Students are also welcome to fax their work in if you have access to a fax machine, though it's a good idea to give us a call or send me a message to let me know that you have faxed it, as sometimes things go missing with our fax machine. If you'd like to connect with me through social media, both my Facebook and my YouTube channel are under the name B. Slate Wahsa. You can friend me on Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then you'll get notifications every time I upload one of our radio Zoom classes. All of our radio Zoom classes are recorded, and I post them shortly after airing to my channel. And then also on my channel, there are short videos that explain common errors or confusing concepts that can help you if you are struggling with something that might be foundational, something that you may have learned in the past and don't remember. It's a good place to check out if you're struggling with something. Math is a really visual subject, so I strongly encourage you to access the videos. Just listening to the audio is not going to give you the full experience. So either joining me live through Zoom, even if you don't want to talk to me, that's fine. Just watching is fine. Or watching the replays on YouTube are really going to set you up for the most success. If you don't have access to the reliable internet, that means these options are inaccessible for you. Let me know, and I'm happy to send you a copy of the recordings so that you still get the full experience. If you have any questions or concerns, please reach out and contact me. You can email me at bronwyn.slate@nnec.on.ca. You can connect with me through Facebook at B. Slate Wahsa. Give me a call at the office at 807-737-1488, extension 2209, or toll free 1-800-667-3703. My office hours currently are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m., though I am available to connect with you outside of those hours if they don't work for you. Just connect with me and we can figure out something that works for both of us. All right, today we are continuing with lesson 4, which is paying taxes. in our previous lesson, we talked about tax brackets and how taxes are actually calculated based on your income. It's a jam-packed lesson, so if you've missed that one, go back and check that one out on the YouTube channel. Today, we're going to continue looking at paperwork and some of the other components of taxes. So at the end of this lesson, our learning goals are that you will be able to identify the different forms required for filling income taxes, and you will understand hidden taxes. Your success criteria, knowing that you've met the learning goals, or you can recognize the forms to file and the paperwork needed to file for income taxes, and you can calculate indirect taxes on cigarettes, jewelry, and gasoline. But first, let's activate your brain with some mental math. I don't believe in math minutes that focus on repetition and memorization. These just really stress folks out and don't usually teach students any skills. Instead, we look at strategies that you can use in various situations that are based on your comfort and knowledge of numbers. So our question today is 12 times 6, and we're going to use the strategy of doubling and halving. So what that means is we're going to take one of our numbers and we're going to double it, and our other number, we're going to halve it. And this is the same for multiplying because it's just like we're taking one number and breaking it up into its factors and moving that to the other number. So we can decide, well, which one makes sense to double and which one makes sense to halve. Well, 12 if we cut in half is 6, and 6 if we double is 12. So we're going to be back to where we started. So it makes more sense to double 12 and cut 6 in half. So 12 doubled is 24, and 6 cut in half is 3. So now 3 we can't cut in half because it's an odd number, but so that hasn't really, we don't have a lot of steps, but from here we can say, well, 24 is really close to 25. So I can think of quarters. And so 3/4 is 75 cents. So 24 times 3 is just going to be 3 less than 75, which is going to be 72. So 12 times 6 is 72. All right, what prior learning do we need to know other than the beginning of lesson 4? But what else do we need to know for today's lesson? We need to make sure that we understand how to find percentages, which is really something that comes up a lot throughout our course. So this is really important. So a percentage in mathematics is a number or ratio which can be represented as a fraction of 100. The term percent originates from a Latin word percentium, which means per 100. The symbol percent, which is like a slash with a 0 above and a 0 below, is used to denote percentage. So percentages are stuff that show up in our lives all over the place. So discounts, interest charged on loans, being able to evaluate your performance of students, so getting your mark, how the value changes over time in terms of cars, property, things like that. These are all places that percentages show up and that we'll be looking throughout the course. So how do we actually calculate a percentage? So there's two possible ways for finding a percentage of a number. To find it, really what we're doing is so if we're converting it when it's in its decimal form to the percentage, that means that we're multiplying that number by 100. So 0.5, converting it to a percentage, is 0.5 times 100, which is 50%. If you have a fraction, then you can first convert it to a decimal and then multiply it by 100. So percentage of 1/6, well, 1/6, 1 divided by 6 is 0.1666. forever. So times that by 100 is equal to 16.7%. And if you're going the opposite way, you just divide by 100. Okay, what new concepts are we looking at today? We're looking at the tax paperwork. That's where we're focusing today. So when you're filing your income taxes, this is something that every Canadian is expected to do by law. And it is a document that shows the government how much income you have made throughout the year, as well as any deductions. So we've talked about deductions in terms of your income tax, but also in terms of Canadian pension plan and employment insurance. So all of this is information that you're sharing with the government. The purpose of this is to ensure that each worker has paid the correct amount of deductions, and often it is found that you've paid too much or too little throughout the year. So paying deductions is how we support our communities as a whole and support ourselves in the future. But what we standardize do after every paycheck isn't always exactly the right amount based on our overall income of what actually happened. So filing your income taxes shows what actually happened over the course of the year, and then there's a process of figuring out based on expectations of what you were supposed to pay, and therefore you may have paid too much. Most likely, if you have a lower income, you've probably paid too much, and so after filing your income tax, you're most likely going to get money back. So how do you actually complete your income tax return? This is on page 26 of your IEL booklet. So there are various forms that are needed to be completed to calculate the amount of income tax that you pay for both provincially and federally. You can use tax preparation software. So now with online being fairly accessible to most folks, you can do all of your tax stuff online, and then using a tax preparation software that's certified for NetFile, you can even submit your tax return online as well. Some of them are free, some of them are pay what you can, some of them are paid programs, and they can be found at canada.ca/netfile. So you can look at what are good options. Here are a few: TurboTax, Simple Tax, Cloud Tax, Each Tax, and TaxTron. I use TurboTax. That's the only one that I can vouch for has been really useful. The other ones are other ones I just found, but you can check them out to see if they are a good fit for you. You can also use a tax preparation service. So that's when you take all of your documents, all of your paperwork to an agency, and accountants there will complete your return for you. So H&R Block is like a national one that's really obvious. Or Liberty Tax, these are big companies that have lots of offices, or like they even have like little pop-up places that happen in March and April so that you can go and do your taxes there. But you can also do it with a public accountant. There are independent offices that do this. I don't know how many northern communities have accountants that do this, but there are some in Sioux Lookout that you could check out if that's something you're interested in doing. This is going to be a paid service. You're going to pay them to do it, just so you know. Or you can complete a paper return. So you get an actual piece of paper, you fill out all the forms, and then you mail it to your tax center. If you filed a paper form last year, then the CRA, the Canadian Revenue Agency, will automatically mail you a new package by March. So in the next few weeks. If you don't have a copy, or you're wanting to do it for the first time, you can go to canada.ca/taxes-general-package, and there you can view it, download it, and print the package there to do your taxes. You can also order a package online. So if you don't want to print it, you don't have access to a printer, you can order one at canada.ca/get-cra-forms, or you can call them at 1-855-330-3305 and ask them to send you a package. They are most likely going to ask for your social insurance number, so make sure you have that. It can take up to 10 business days for publications and forms to arrive by mail. So this is something just to be paying attention to in terms of if you're concerned about deadlines, if this is a good option for you. So here is a picture of the form TD1, which is the personal tax credits return. When you start a new job, this is the form that they give you to fill out. So they use this information, your employer uses this information to determine how much the tax they must deduct from your pay. For most folks, you just fill out the top part here with your basic information, name, insurance, social insurance number, address, and then most likely you're just going to put the number in for the basic personal amount. So then you put here, it says every resident of Canada can enter a basic personal amount of $14,396. And then it goes on to tell you more things if your income is greater than a certain amount. Then you can continue to look through all these ones and see if any of these make sense for you. Some of them might. Age amount, if you will be 65 or older in this year, then you can enter a different amount here. If you have a pension that's coming in, if you have disability or you're caring for someone who has a disability is confirmed, these sorts of things you can put in different amounts and then you add them all up and you claim this amount at the bottom. Again, this is what you're doing when you're starting a new job. Then when you are actually doing your taxes most likely in March and April, here's what the T1 general form looks like. I could only find one online, pictures of an online one version from 2015, so it's a bit old, but basically the information is the same, it doesn't change too dramatically. So again, you look at you give your personal information, and if you have a partner that you are doing your taxes with, you give that information as your information gets linked together. And then you go through and you look at each of these lines and you follow the instructions. So here, if you're looking on page 2, you're looking at the total income. And here it says income, employment income. So it's from the box 14 of all your T4 slips. So we talked about T4 slips before, how they come from your employer and they list your income for the year. So that's box 14. If you look up a T4, it will say box 14 next to it. And every single T4 that you have, if you have more than one job in the year, you're going to take the numbers that in box 14, add them up, and then write them here on this line at 101. This line here is instead of a decimal point, so you put the cents on this side, dollars on this side. So then you can continue depending on the lines that you have, the boxes that you have on your T4 slips. You go through each of these, and many of these might not apply to you. For me, most of them have never applied to me. So then I would end up just leaving these blank, but you can walk through, and when you get the packet, there's instructions as well. So you can follow through and they walk you through where to find the information and where to write it down, and then you add them together. And then you add them all together, and then here at the bottom it says this is your total income. So it helps you figure out how much income you made for the whole year based on all of your income sources. And then line 150 is your total income for that year. So then as you continue, there are more pages, and then the same thing, you go through and you fill out the numbers based on the information that you have. It's incredibly important to not guess numbers and to not just put numbers in. You need to do this based on things that you have proof of, that you have receipts of, because if you get audited, they're going to be asking for that information. Otherwise, you are committing tax fraud. So make sure you're putting the numbers in accurately to the best of your ability. So this is the T1 general. So this is your tax return, this form. Then this is the federal tax form, so it looks very similar. And again, you follow through and you go step by step through each line and see if it applies to you, and you put in the numbers according to what they say. Over here on this second page, this is where you're calculating your tax brackets, right? So here they're going to show you how to, they walk you through actually calculating each of your tax brackets and how much taxes you should be paying for each of the brackets to figure out your net income. So this is called the Schedule 1, and it is one of the forms that you need to complete for federal income tax. It comes with the T1 general form package, so it all comes together. Then we have the form ON 428, and this is the Ontario tax. If you live in a different province or territory, it'll be different depending on your location, but as we are based out of Ontario, I'm showing you the Ontario ones. So again, here they show you the tax brackets, and you can go through and fill out the numbers and to figure out how much tax you should be paying and what your taxable income is. And you follow the steps. It walks you through how to do it, which is great. So you just need to go through and fill out boxes based on the instructions. So this ON 428, which is the provincial tax form, also comes in the T1 general form package. Okay, so let's look at T4s. I guess maybe we haven't looked at it in too much detail, sorry. So these come from your employer, and you can have more than one if you've had more than one job, if you've worked more than one job in the year. So it's called the Statement of Remuneration Paid. And it's the official record that shows the amount of income that you've earned in that calendar year, the amount of income tax, CPP, and EI that you've paid that calendar year, any other deductions that have been made that year through payroll that affect income tax, such as charity donations or other pension plans, things like that. So this is what a T4 looks like. And like, remember how I said on your form, you're going to be looking for like box 14. So here you can see this is box 14. Tells you, it also gives you a little text. It says employment income line 101. So remember, line 101 is where we put all of our employment income. I wasn't able to find a really detailed example picture online, so it'll be easier to read most likely if you get an actual physical copy or digital copy from your employer. But here, this number is the amount of money this person has earned in the year 2012 from this construction company. And then it goes through and tells you other lines that are important, that had numbers, that had something happened. And then there's also many boxes and lines that don't have any numbers in them because they don't have any information that's valid. If you have extra things that are not standard, these are the standard ones that most likely affect most people, then there will be a box number and the amount written down here in the bottom. These are extra ones that might be specific to your situation. Okay, so let's look at an example of how to interpret this T4. So this is Clement's T4 from 2008. So where did he work? So we can look here and we see that the employer's name is up here in this box. So Techno Designs. So the employer will always be there, which can be really helpful if you have multiple employers for the year. How much do you earn? So remember, this is in box 14. So this here, employment income, 28,000. How much was deducted for income tax? So that's this line here, income tax, which is 3,700. CPP, Canadian Pension Plan. So employee CPP contributions, 1,212.75. EI, employees EI premiums, $484.40. charitable donations. We look through, do we see anywhere that says, oh, here, charitable donations. This is just a glitch. This 0 should be over here. So $104. And RPP contributions. And it looks like there's nothing written in this RPP box, so 0. Again, it can be easier to see on your own T4. This can be a little bit tricky to read, but that's all the information is there on the T4. So then a T5 is completed and issued by banks and other financial institutions. And this is a statement of investment income. So it keeps an official record of the amount of interest earned by investments or saved money. So interest is considered income and it's therefore taxable. Again, you can have more than one T5 slip if you've invested in more than one place. This is what a T5 slip looks like. Again, it says T5 at the top, tells you the year, and then you look through and it's going to tell you different information that, again, has the box numbers that are going to help you figure out where to put them as you're going through the form. If you're doing it online, then they ask you questions and then it jumps over information that you're not going to have any numbers for, and it just asks you the questions where you are going to have numbers that are going to make sense. So has your name down here and the payer's name. So this is the place where you invested, the place, and that they're giving you money from. And here, this one just tells you that you $274.99 is the amount that you can actually claim. All right, so let's look at another example. So this is Jane's T5 from 2017. How much interest did she earn? So we look here and we say, okay, interest from Canadian sources. So is $2,400. So that's how much interest she earned. And if Jane's T4 states that her employment income was $28,721.60, how much income in total does she need to claim? So remember, your total income is both your income from your T4 plus your interest from your T5. So here, your income is $28,721.60 plus $2,400. So that's going to be $31,121.60 is how much total income she would have to claim for that year, because the interest counts as income. Then receipts is another thing that you need to be paying attention to when you're doing your taxes. Not all receipts are tax deductible, but many folks have some that are. So if you donate to a charity, if you pay for an organized sports activity or a daycare, these sorts of things can be tax deductible. Currently, there is a program in Ontario that is like a travel and tourism benefit, so that if you have receipts for hotels in Ontario from the past year, then you can claim them and you'll get some money back in order trying to keep folks in Ontario and spending money in Ontario in order to work on our own economy. So they're sort of benefiting you from vacationing inside your own province. On the receipt, the institution or organization who received the money will issue the receipt, so their name will always be on it. If it's a charity, it'll have an official charity logo, and officials' names or a scan of their signature will be there. Other receipts might look slightly different. Again, save these receipts once you are finished filing your taxes. I think it's like 7 years or something. I don't actually know if it's 7 years, can't remember. But save your receipts for a period of time in order that if you do get audited, you have that proof to say why you claimed those numbers. Here's an example of a charity receipt. So you can see it's from Canucks Kids Fund in Vancouver. It's the Freedom 55 Financial Open Charity Walk. It's presented to Jack Runner, who donated $5 and has this official receipt. Okay, so now you can do the support questions on page 31 to 32, questions 1 through 4. Remember and then where that wraps up. No, never mind. Okay, the second part of today's lesson is hidden taxes, and this part's a little bit funky. So people pay direct taxes and indirect taxes. Direct taxes are taxes like property tax, HST, income tax, things that we've talked about, where you know that you're paying a tax directly. But then indirect taxes are taxes that are included in the selling price of an item. And sometimes they're known as hidden taxes because you don't necessarily know that you're paying that tax. You just think it's part of the price of the item. So we're going to look at 3. Jewelry tax is the first, and this is on page 35 of your IL booklet. And it is 10% of the wholesale price, which is the price that the store pays. And it is included in the store's asking price. So you don't know. So the people who we're selling you the jewelry, buy the jewelry from somewhere else, and they pay a certain amount, and then they're putting 10% of what that amount was on top of how much the wholesale price was. And that's all included in how much they're asking consumers to buy it for. So an example, what is the amount of indirect tax that will be added to the sale price of a brooch with a wholesale price of $57? So $57 is how much the store is having to pay. So to find out 10%, they're going to have to, so remember 10% is equal to 10 divided by 100, which is equal to 0.1. So 0.10. So 57 times 0.10 is $5.70. So the indirect tax will be $5.70. So that will be added on top of this price, and you won't know that the wholesale price was less. So that you can add to the support question on page 35, question number 7, that focuses on jewelry tax. The cigarette tax, which is also on page 35, can be a little confusing. So in Ontario, there are 3 cigarette taxes included in the selling prices of cigarettes. This is in addition to HST, which we haven't talked about too much, which is the sales tax. On a carton of 200 cigarettes with a selling price of $40.70, the provincial government collects $8.90. The federal government collects $6.85. And the federal government also collects another $5.50. I don't know why they collect 2 different things. I don't know the details of that, but they do. As of March 29th in 2018, the current tax rates are 18.475 cents per cigarette. So this is not $18, this is 18 cents. So it is less than $1 per cigarette, or 18.475 cents per gram or part gram of tobacco product other than cigarettes or cigars. And so like if you're just buying straight up tobacco, or 56.6% of the taxable price of a cigar. Again, it's kind of confusing, but there are extra taxes that you're being paid. So what does that actually mean when we're buying cigarettes? So a pack costs $15, say, and includes 25 cigarettes. So how much is the cigarette tax? So remember, for every cigarette, there is a tax of 18.475 cents per cigarette. So you can times that by 25. So let's go to our Desmos calculator and actually multiply that. So 18.475 times 25 is equal to 461.875 cents. Oops. Okay, but this is cents, so that is actually $4.62 is how much is the cigarette tax. So then how much is HST on the pack? So remember, HST is 13%. So we do $15 times 0.13, which is equal to 15 times 0.13, $1.95. So that's how much you're going to add on top of $15. So then what percentage of the total price is taxes? So first, we're going to figure what the total price is. So it's $15 plus $1.95. So $16.95 is how much you're going to pay, including the taxes. Because remember, this tax here is hidden. It's included in the $15. We don't know that that's a tax. So then the total taxes is equal to $4.62 plus $1.95, which is equal to, well, if I steal 5 cents from here, I can make this $2. So if I steal 5 cents from here, this is going to be $4.57. So plus $2 is $6.57 is your total tax. So to figure the percentage, remember we do 6.75, our tax. Sorry, we're going to do our tax divided by our total. So tax is $6.75 and our total is $16.95. So our percentage of tax that we're paying is 0.3876, which is going to be equal to 38.76%. So on cigarettes, you're paying almost 39% of what you're paying is taxes. Okay, so now you can do the support questions on page 35 to 36, questions 8 to 11. And then finally, we're going to look at gasoline tax, which is now on page 36 of your IL booklet. So the gasoline taxes are collected by both federal and provincial governments. HST is not added to the selling price of gasoline, and it is already included. It's the hidden tax that happens that's already included, so you don't have to worry about that on top. In 2022, the government tax, so at federal level, it was 10 cents per liter of gas, and for provincial level, 14 cents per liter of gas was taxed. So what is the total of 2 gasoline taxes on 35 liters? So for federal, remember it was 10 cents per liter. So that means we do 10 cents times per liter times 35 liters is equal to 350 cents, which is equal to $3.50. provincial, Ontario, was 14 cents per liter, and it's fine if you don't remember these, look them up, totally fine. So we do 14 cents per liter times 35 liters. That one I can't do as easily in my head without. So we're going to do 14 times 35 is equal to 490 cents. Well, 490 cents is $4.90. So the total is going to be $3.50 plus $4.90, which is going to be equal to, again, I'm going to steal 10 cents from here to make this $5. So this is $3.40 plus $5, so it's the same thing. So that's going to be $8.40 is how much you're paying in taxes on 35 liters of gas. So now you should be able to do the support questions on page 36 through 37, questions 12 through 14. All right, so let's consolidate what we have learned today. So we are wrapping up lesson 4, which is paying taxes. So we looked at tax paperwork today, looking specifically at the TD1 main general form, and also the Schedule 1 and ON 428 form. We looked at the T4, which is your income statement, and your T5, which is your interest statement. We looked at receipts. Then we looked at hidden taxes, specifically the jewelry tax, which is 10% of the wholesale prices, cigarette tax, which is 18.475 cents per cigarette, and gasoline tax, which is 10 cents per liter for federal and 14 cents per liter for Ontario. So now hopefully you can recognize the forms to file and the paperwork needed to file income taxes. And you can calculate indirect taxes on cigarettes, jewelry, and gasoline. And that's what we've done today. So if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out and connect with me. Give me a call at the office at 807-737-1488, extension 2209. You can also call us toll free at 1-800-667-3703. Send me an email at bronwyn.slate, and that's spelled BRONWYN.SLATE@nnec.on.ca. Connect with me through Facebook, where my name is B Slate Wahsa. B Slate is all one word, and then Wahsa is the last name on the Facebook account. You can give me or connect with me at my YouTube channel, which is also under the name B Slate Wahsa. All of our lessons are under a playlist called MEL3E, so you can find all of our current lessons there, as well as some other resources from other videos that I made or past times that I've taught this course. So everything's there on my YouTube channel for you to find. My office hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. So though I teach from 9 until 11, so that is not a great time to try to get a hold of me. But if that time doesn't work to connect and you'd like to arrange a time where we can work specifically together, let me know and we can try to accommodate that based on both of our schedules. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this was useful for wrapping up lesson 4. Miigwech.